back again. I'm sorry, but in the last video, apparently the audio did not sync with the video, and that sucks. But I'm using free recording software, so I'm not willing to pay for anything extra just yet. If my YouTube channels all of a sudden get an explosion in subscribers, then I might. But so I predicted the games for Thursday and Friday night this week, and there's a party going on a few houses over, if you guys are wondering. So I'm going on to Saturday's games. Army, they looked great in their first 3 games. I think they went like 3-0 and destroyed the teams, even the Tulane team that they played against. But they've come back down to earth recently. I think they did get a win last week, but that was over Lafayette, Indiana, I think. Probably. North Texas is an improved team, but I'm not going to do well over that game. South Carolina UMass goes to South Carolina. It seems like everybody's going to UMass to play for some reason. They are an independent, but they're one of the worst teams in college football, FBS. South Carolina should get the job done. They need it, man. They're not going to get to a bowl game, but they've had like a 3-game slide, so they need this win. Connecticut, they were actually both UCF and Connecticut were in contention for the Big 12. I might do a video on that later on, but that was a sham. Everybody knew the Big 12 was not going to expand based on how they handled that. Bob Bowlesby needs to get fired. I think he needs to step down or something. That like Paul Farmer and other talking heads have said, that conference is just in a train wreck right now. They should be glad to get some of these teams, because even teams like Connecticut or UCF are probably better than half the teams in the Big 12. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell which is the worst conference this year. Probably Pac-12 is worse of the Power 5 than Big 12, but still. Central Michigan, who got off to a 3-0 start, but has looked, I'm just going to say, bad ever since. Toledo is looking pretty good. They're 5-1. If they'd beaten BYU, they would be undefeated right now and in the top 15. But that's what it is. Another curious thing I've noticed, it doesn't look like there's going to be any winless teams this season. I'm not sure if there are actually any winless teams left in FBS. Miami, I thought, might go winless. Oh, I'm sorry, Rice is still winless. And Rice, had some good seasons not too long ago, but you win some, you lose some. It'd be interesting to see if there's any undefeated teams this season. Some reason there hadn't been really any since like 2010 to speak of. Northwestern has kind of risen back up. Indiana has looked really good. They just hadn't shown up in the win-loss column yet. They've played all these teams close. Clearly, Ohio State is a better team than Northwestern. Ohio State couldn't even throw the deep ball, and they still basically blew out Indiana. Nebraska, they're going to lose soon. Not this weekend, I think, because they play Purdue. But, yeah, Northwestern, they lost to an FCS, Illinois State, and then they lost to Western Michigan. Western Michigan should have beaten them by more than they did. But, I don't know. Wisconsin and Iowa. Wisconsin is at Iowa. That's an 11 a.m. game on ESPN Saturday. I'm not sure why, but Wisconsin is getting a ton of love in the polls. I mean, why is a 4-2 team who's 1-2 in the Big Ten, why are they still ranked in the top 10 this midway through the season, when you've got teams like West Virginia, who's undefeated from the Power 5 conference? When you've got teams like that behind them, even Houston, I think. I mean, I don't know if they should be ranked higher than Wisconsin, but my point is, Wisconsin, I don't think they're really that good of a football team. LSU under Les Miles at the time, they were not a good team. Not saying Paul Chris isn't a good coach, but no, I mean, Clearly they're not going to be ranked quite as high. I don't think in the actual committee's poll. The committee does not want a 2-loss team in the playoff. That's going to weaken the system, and I don't think they're going to allow it. Even if Wisconsin somehow wins the Big Ten, which would spell doom for the Big Ten, I guess. Iowa, they've looked better since they lost to a North Dakota State team that just blew it against South Dakota State. For who cares really, but some people do, I guess. Louisville plays NC State. Don't expect the same thing to happen in this game like the Clemson and NC State. NC State should have won that game. Clemson's had like 3 or 4 games this year that they should have lost. To be honest, the Troy game, number 1, I guess the officials just did not want to see Troy win. They had a bunch of calls go against them that were clearly, like touchdowns on the field or whatnot. That really pisses me off, especially because Troy's in my state, so, kind of homer for them. But Louisville, while they did not look great in the last... They had a bye week, I think, last week, or did they? I don't know, they had a bye week, either that or the week before. But they should beat NC State pretty good. Oklahoma State, don't know much about them. They don't impress me. Nobody really from the Big 12 does except Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's out of it because they already have 2 losses. Kansas, same old Kansas team we've seen. Texas, what a flop after everybody thought it was so great they beat Notre Dame. They moved up to like 10 in the polls, but Notre Dame sucks, so Texas sucks too. I honestly think Kansas State will win this game. I'm not sure why they're only favored by 3, but Charlie Strong's defense looked alright last week against Iowa State. But come on, it's Iowa State. I think if Strong loses this game, I think he'll be fired. I know it's another Power 5 opponent and a pretty good Kansas State team, but I honestly think if he loses one more game, just not long after the slide that they took a few weeks ago, then he's out. So that's a bold prediction. If Texas loses this game, Charlie Strong is out. He could already be out, but they're just waiting to pull the plug on him. Minnesota is a pretty good Big Ten team. They should beat Rutgers, who's been outscored like 150 to 10 or something in the last couple weeks. Let's see what else matters. Saturday, Air Force, another team that blew it. They had a chance to run the table this year, and they beat Navy, which gives Navy a black mark considering Air Force just lost to Wyoming and somebody else. Wyoming's an improved team, but come on. Air Force just can't get over the hump. Akron, everybody thought was a pretty good MAC team, but they got beat 41-0 to Western Michigan. Here we go, a game that actually matters. 2 o'clock p.m. We've got Colorado visiting Stanford. Stanford's a 2-point favorite, even though... Is Christian McCaffrey going to play in this game? I hadn't looked it up to see if he will or not. I think he might. But he played in another game against, was it Washington or somebody? And it didn't matter. I don't know if he was completely healthy that game. He certainly wasn't by like the second quarter when he got injured. But anyway, so Stanford, they blew it. They were Pac-12's hopes for the playoff before Washington came along. I don't know why people act like Washington sneaked up on people. They were ranked in the top 15 pretty much to start the year, and they were on a lot of people's dark horse list, so they're not really a dark horse now. But Colorado's a sneaky good team. They should be ranked right now probably, but they blew a game to somebody they shouldn't have. Don't have the schedule right in front of me, but Colorado's a good team. They have a good chance of beating Stanford. Do one more game real quick. Virginia, good old Virginia, still hadn't got it, even with Bronco Mendenhall. North Carolina should get this victory, but they've been up and down too. Just like it's hard to figure out a lot of ACC middle tier teams. Hard to figure out who's going to come out at the Coastal, to be honest. But anyway, guys, so that's my second prediction video for this weekend. I'll try to speed up my videos a bit, starting with this next one.